Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is a Beko condensing tumble dryer. It's a big model, 8 kilo load. It's a DCU 8230 model, but this advice will work pretty much the same for every condensing tumble dryer. So a quick look around. You've got the door, you've got the inside, you've got a filter. It's very important to clean this filter, and I'll show you how to do that. Up on top, you'll probably know this because the machine won't work if you don't do it. You've got the water drawer, and you've got to empty out that water drawer pretty much after every wash or every drying load. But sometimes you can get away with leaving it for a few depending on how damp your laundry is. Like sports gear doesn't hold that much moisture, so you might not need to empty that very often. I reckon it's better to do it all the time after every use. And then down on the bottom you've got this thing. This is the condenser. So it says clean the condenser after 30 uses, which is what it says, so that's what you should do. And it says up here, clean the filter after each use. Now, I suspect that hasn't happened on these machines, and people just generally in their nature sometimes are a bit lazy. So looking around there, because the filter hasn't been cleaned, the air tries to flow all the way around it. Well, let's have a look at the filter first. So the filter hasn't been cleaned, so it just pops apart like that. It's just this little catch on top. You just pop it apart, and there'll be something similar on your one. And you can see that it hasn't been cleaned after every use because there's different colours of fluff. So you've got this kind of blue, this kind of light grey, pink, and then dark blue. And to clean it, all you do is you just lift this out. That's it, it's clean. You can pick out all those bits of fluff. If you want to, you can run it under the tap or give it a go with the hoover. As long as you don't damage the membrane here, you've cleaned it. So that's clean. There's a big ball of fluff from about 4 or 5 loads. But really, the issue here is that because that fluff was there, and probably has been on a number of occasions before, the air tries to flow around it because the air will take the path of least resistance. So it'll try to go around the filter and dragging the fluff and lint with it, and it'll go in here into the passageways in the tumble dryer, and the air goes through the holes in the back from the element down here to the heat exchanger, exchanges its heat over there to condense out some of the water, goes back up over here to the heater that's in behind again, and you'll get fluff stuck in the heater. If you get fluff stuck in the heater, and this is a big issue with a lot of different dryers now, people won't clean the filters, and then the dryer goes on fire because in behind there's an element, and it's just a piece of wire that gets really hot, and as the air passes over it, it heats up the air, and that then dries the clothes. If fluff gets stuck anywhere near that, the fluff goes on fire, and if enough fluff goes on fire, well, the machine goes on fire. So it's worth keeping it clean. That's the ultimate hazard if the machine goes on fire and burns your house down. But in the short term, it just reduces the efficiency because the fan has to work harder to suck air through the filter that's clogged. And then let's have a look down here at this condenser. So this condenser here, it hasn't been cleaned, I wouldn't say, in a long time. Let's pull it out completely. It's got fluff all the way through the little fins there, which means that they're quite blocked, and I guess the only way to clean them out is with an airline. So you got to blast it out with compressed air, and you could bring it to a garage and ask a mechanic to do that for you, because they'll have a compressor in a garage, and they might ask you for a few quid, but it shouldn't be very much. They might just be generous and do it for free. If you try and wash it out, the risk you run is that you'll kind of gum up all these little snots, and they'll get stuck even further in there. What you can do on this side, however, is you can rinse this one out and stick a bottle brush in because they're bigger openings. But you can see, that those passageways are kind of half blocked with this fluff that's just coming out in my fingers, fluff and hair. And if it's blocked, well then the air can't pass evenly over all of the different chambers and the different passageways, and it can't condense out the moisture. So like the back end of these is quite clean. So from the other end, these look relatively clean, but there is a layer of fluff on them. So on this side here, rather than compressed air, you can get in with a bottle brush or some kind of a small brush, because they're already moist, because that's where the moisture condenses out, and kind of rinse them off under a tap with the brush and agitate to clean it out. But like, it doesn't take much work to do if it's clean. It's once it gets to this stage when it's really dirty that it becomes difficult. But even just in my fingers there, I've released quite a bit of fluff there. That's more than should be in there, and I'll just throw that into the dustbin. There's nothing really wrong with it, it's just lint off clothing. So the issue that you really have with a condensing dryer is efficiency. If you let the condenser become all bunged up like this, the the cool air flowing over the warm air won't have the same effect at condensing out the moisture, because it's not metal to air, it's metal to fluff to air, and it just won't work as well. And you know, you could be losing quite a good deal of efficiency on these. Not that a dryer is in any way efficient in the first place, but once you start messing around with it like this and letting it get filthy, it's just nonsense. It's just a waste of your time using it at all. People have money and no sense, and that's what they want to do. So, you know, keep it clean. It says every 30 uses. I would say do it more often, because it's easier to clean it when it's clean than when it gets dirty. And same with this filter. It says after every use. You can't really do it more frequently than that, so that's a pretty good recommendation. Same with the water drawer up on top. I would say just empty it every time. While you're doing that, it takes 2 seconds before you lift out the laundry. Do it, because then your hands aren't full. That's what I've noticed on my own. I don't have a condensing dryer inside, but I have a regular vented dryer. If I take out the laundry, my hands aren't free to clean the vent, but if I leave the laundry in, clean the vent, and then take out the laundry, it's good to go. So yeah, there's a note on condensing tumble dryers and the importance of keeping them clean. First is the efficiency. That's something you'll feel every day in your pocket, because I reckon to run one of these it takes about 50 pence a go to get a load clean, something like that, somewhere between 30 and 60 pence maybe, depending on how long you leave it on for and the price of electricity in your area, obviously. But then beyond that, there's the fire risk. You know, you wouldn't just leave a chip pan full of hot oil burning away on your stove waiting for it to go on fire, but yet people will do it with dryers. So yeah, be safe, be efficient, be clean, maintain your machinery and stuff like that, you know, keep it tidy. Alright, thanks for watching, see you later.